Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizTalk, World's talk show presented by ClickOpay Creators. Today, we have Mr. Bipul Banerjee with us. He's a sales and business development professional with around 3 decades of work experience, contributing to domains such as biotechnology, life science, diagnostics, nutrigenomics, and others as well. People around him believes ability to build an organization from the scratch is his core strength. In this journey, he handles roles of frontline, second line, and third line manager, followed by heading the business of various pharma companies actively, being part of brand building and product promotion by handling as much as 300 plus team size. That's really huge. So I guess on that note, without further ado, let me introduce you to the man himself. Hi, Bipul. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm fine. Thanks for having me here.
Pleasure's all ours, Bipul. I'm really good. Thank you very much for asking. All right, so I tried my level best, to cover as much as I could in just a minute about you. Um, I would just directly come down to the point that surprises me a lot, and I guess to our viewers as well. When I say that, 300 plus team size, it's really huge. It's a huge number.
Yeah.
How do you really manage, how do you manage to handle a team size of, at such a great extent? What are your methods of team and people management?
Yeah, see, managing team and you talk of 300 people for pharma guys, it is normal. It is not that because when you are into such a position, you deal with people of diverse portfolios, right? It is sales, marketing, production, HR, accounts, finance. If you put together those guys, that number would always come, right? So that size is immaterial, but yes, as we have been saying, that team management is a bit of a tricky task that you need to understand people. Whenever you're talking with people, when you are dealing with teams, well, first and foremost thing that one needs to understand is that a leader is not dealing with his clone, right? So you don't have 300 people sitting across. There are individual X, Y, Z people. They have their own personality, own psyche, and own strengths and weaknesses. So as a leader, first of all I do is that I identify, study each and every individual, find out what the person's strength or weakness is, and accordingly assign a particular job to that person. And I also believe I don't ever use a word that I assign a task, because taskmasters are always seen in circuses. So we are not ringmasters or taskmasters. We are dealing day in, day out with people. So you have to be very, very empathetic about values and aspirations of each individual. And that is how you need to form teams and make people, not people fit in, but the agenda or the task fit in according to the personality of the person. That is how I work.
That's great, and that's very well put, because 300 plus sounds like you're really handling a whole office, sitting somewhere in the corner in a cabin. But that's not really how it works. And yeah, thank you for giving me the big picture of everything. Um, it also takes a lot of time, because you already have spent it, such great, like 3 decades, more than 30 years. It's a lot of time actually.
Yeah.
Um, I also, for viewers, one thing that I want our viewers to understand, because we already have recorded this session once, but then it was my fault. I'm really sorry. We have to re-record it. So we are just trying to get it more enthusiastic, from a different point of view. So when we had a last discussion with Mr. Banerjee, we understood that he has some simple tips for time management, and that's his mantra. So I want him to again share it with our viewers, like how he really manages his time throughout his career so far, and of course at the upcoming duration of his career as well. So how do you really do it, Mr. Banerjee?
Yeah, see, as you have said, the mantra is very simple. So people say that time is money and you need to spend it very judiciously, right? What I feel is that time is life and it is ticking. So every minute of it has to be optimized and utilized. So my simple mantra for time management is that you need to prioritize things in life. A, B, C, D. And you need to jot down your to-do list every day. Write down simply what is on priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, and how within a limited frame of time you will manage those things, right? And if you are not managing it in a limited time frame, you are steadily and fastly going towards being burnout. So an employee burnout today is the buzzword which is happening in the industry. So if you don't want to burn yourself out, you need to have a to-do list, synchronized day-to-day priorities. Write down everything before you start your work. At the end of the day, strike out whatever has been done, whatever has been left, that is carried forward to the next day. Simple as that. And as the time passes and you are able to take control on things, that things that are being carried over would slowly and slowly diminish. And the day you are able to complete your to-do list in a single day is when you have been able to master your time management. I have been diligently practicing this since 30 years. Even today morning also I have done it. And even in today morning's list, 5:30 p.m. the interview is written. So once we do it, I'll just take it off. Yes, I am done for the day. That is how I manage the time. And even my team also across, they have a safe habit of managing the time. They do it in the similar way.
Oh yeah, that's what I guess Mr. Banerjee told me last time itself, and it's really hard to believe that somebody is really focusing this simple and I should say, yeah, that's a very simple trick that one can follow and everyone can follow. But it's really
Yeah,
hard to believe that you're doing it for 30 years. And I of course I trusted you last time, but when you tell me it now again,
consistently.
now it's just like I 100% trust you on that
Yeah,
yes, you do it. I guess I have to also start doing this
yeah,
to manage my time and make it my
right.
mantra on the go. Wonderful, that's wonderful. Now let's talk about your approaches towards you have several concepts, and you have been learning several concepts from different parts of the world as well. So let's talk about one of them from Indian context. I mean, you have been advocating servant leadership in Indian context. So please throw some light on this concept for our viewers.
Yeah, see, servant leadership, when you talk in Indian context, people think it to be a very new concept. But actually, when Robert Greenleaf had coined this term, it was way back in 1970. So almost 50 years old this concept is about servant leadership. When you talk of servant leadership, means the leader is there to serve. That is the one line underlining fact about it. That if you are a leader, you need to put yourself at the service of your team, at the service of your employees, make them comfortable, give them that work atmosphere, give them that culture to grow, and then ask for performance rather than being right at the power center and demanding attention and power all day around, which you find most corporate bosses doing. So rather than doing that, rather than forcing yourself on your team, you need to serve them first, give them a proper culture to work, take care of their basic amenities, and allow them to grow. That only a leader can do, an insecure boss can never do it. So that is how, and if you do it, down the line, your team is going to follow that. And you will be able to, as we say, that leader job is not to produce followers, a leader's job is to produce more leaders. So if you are able to inculcate this concept of serving in your team, they themselves will take it down the line, and then there will be a change in the industry, which I don't see at present is happening at the pace that it is desired. Very few organizations or very few leaders do it.
Mhm.
So that is why I have been advocating it on various platforms. I talk about it. I write on servant leadership also. And I'm trying to advocate this concept that leader is first of all has to serve, first of all has to step back, empower the team members, empower the individuals, let them develop, and then give them a direction to work.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't even remember. I mean, I believe that I asked you this question last time itself, that who creates a boss and who creates a leader? I mean, is it the
Yeah.
employees who create the boss or a leader, or is it the individual who makes himself a boss or a leader? I mean, who really defines it and who makes them what they are?
Yeah, normally the work culture itself creates such bosses. What happens is that the person at the power center wants everything to happen as per his or her whims and fancies. So you should not put one pin from here to there without asking me, is the attitude. And that same percolates down to the team. And when that same thing percolates down to the team, every employee, every team member wants to put a disclaimer. Why I should take the responsibility? Let me ask the boss and do it. So it is a vicious cycle. So the employees, they create a boss, and the boss creates a boss for himself.
The problem is in the I guess it's in the revolution. I mean, the way it started actually should have
Yes.
started in a different manner. I guess
Yes.
it's the need of an hour or the century, I would say, or the era, that we have to really adopt new practices and consider making leaders or bosses. And I personally, Mr. Banerjee, because you have great experience, of course, I'm not liable to add anything to this, but as far as I have small experience in my domain, so I believe that as far as it's a leader or a boss, as far as you are really creating value towards your work, it really doesn't matter to you. I mean, a
True.
boss can even convert you into a leader. You may think that you really do not want to, take this further more. I mean,
Right.
I'm not sure how your boss were or how your boss were a leader or a boss, but
Yeah.
I guess you are a leader now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's somebody has to break that cycle, right? Somebody
Yes.
has to come
Yes.
up with it.
Absolutely. And you have to adapt along with the time. You cannot boss over a millennial nowadays.
Yeah.
It is not possible. And if you are going to work in that way, if you are not going to change your way of working, you are going to be redundant and absolute. Not the person who is working under you or working for you. I would not use the term under you. So that is also an old classical concept. So you cannot boss with a millennial anymore because they are more informed. They know so many things when they come on board. So it is not like in our times when 30 years back, our level of knowledge and the exposure that we had to information was limited, which is not the case now.
Yeah.
So in that case, you need to serve. Otherwise, you will not be respected for that.
Yeah, otherwise you'll be end up being on Twitter or a part of a troll.
Yes,
I
yes.
believe. Yeah, that's right. That's wonderful. All right. So on that note, I mean, because again, you have been. I don't want you to go out this session without discussing the serious stuff about the pharma organizations or pharmaceutical companies in India. What's your take in terms of updation with regards to vaccines that you guys are getting, and how the shortage really happened, and in this journey so many things happen. I mean, Mr. Adar Punawal also left India. He has his own consideration towards us.
Sure.
So what's your take on all these things that were happening everywhere?
See, what I believe is that the pharma industry has done a wonderful job in bringing out the vaccine in such a time of crisis. We normally, if you see any vaccine which is being produced, has to go through a series of clinical trials, a lot of painstaking processes, a lot of research behind this happens. And a vaccine, anyhow, in the history, does not come out for a commercial use before 3 years. But in this pandemic, which has challenged us, within a year, we have been able to come out with a vaccine that too, which is effective, right? So that is a what I would say horrendous task that the pharmaceutical has achieved tremendously. That is hats off, right? That is one thing. Second thing is the part that you talk of the actual manufacturing process. The actual manufacturing process also has its own time. Overnight, you cannot overhaul the manufacturing capabilities or capacities. So because of that and because of the huge population that we have, the shortage has happened. But now, after that also, our government has been so much thoughtful and has allowed the import of vaccines to support the things. So last time when we had talked, or before that, if you see, the scenario was different. Today, the scenario is different. Vaccines are available now, and I am a keen observer also, because I am into a lot of writing from, and I take things from when I observe from the way. So when I drive from my house to the office, there are at least four vaccination centers that come on the road. You know, the the impact in the last 1.5 months has been tremendous. Last 1.5 months or 2 months back, we used to see queues of people waiting for the vaccines. Now things have dwindled. The 50 or 100 chairs that are there for the people to sit and wait for, now the occupancy has come down to 5 or 6 people in the slot. So that has been tremendously well managed. Anything that comes out in such a chaotic situation or in a pandemic would have its teething problems. So that does not mean that we have not been able to manage the things. We have been able to do it great. And there is one more thing, that a debate which you also must have come across: A, B, or C, which vaccine is better,
Yeah.
and which is what is the efficacy, right? And there is a whole lot of controversy on which is WHO approved and whatever. But my take on this, the take home message is, all the available vaccines are equally efficient, and you should not think of whether I should take this vaccine or I should take this vaccine. Whichever at what time is available, get your shot.
Of course, I guess we never thought before getting a vaccine of polio, I mean, which which pharmaceutical
Exactly.
organization is really making it. I mean, it's all part of it's all part of propaganda itself. I mean, it's social
True,
media that's
true,
driving us crazy nowadays.
true.
But just a personal story. Today, my mom got vaccinated, and she was also concerned that should I get this vaccine, and I just explained her what's the mechanism of a vaccine, what
Right,
vaccine is. So
right,
it's just the deactivated version of the COVID virus, and it's there everywhere.
right,
However,
right.
the potential of vaccines may vary due to several geographical conditions or evolutionary conditions that we are in India. We know
Right, right.
we are great survivors. The number game is great with us. As you said that there were 50 chairs, and then there were hundred people before. So because I guess in world every seventh or eighth man or person is Indian. So the number game is very high from our end, and we have to
True,
really
true.
acknowledge that yes, there are some bad things that really happens, really bad things, and there are some good things that are also happening.
Yeah, you
So
cannot compare yourself with New Zealand's and
of
Australians
course,
and all
of
those
course,
people, because these are all like one state of our country. So
exactly.
you see
Australia has
the,
a population of Uttar Pradesh, if I
yeah,
have to say so, and US has, I mean, the population of states is equivalent to the active mobile users in India. So
true.
we do not. There's no comparison in that
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. So
Yeah.
that's why we should always see the positive side of the things happening. And all right, from the frontline workers till the bureaucracy or the government or the health workers, everyone has done a tremendous job in this. It is very easy to sit in a AC room and criticize people, to put in pardon me for the language, bullshit on Twitter and all those things. But you should actually acknowledge the fact that whatever the people have done, they have done a tremendous job.
No,
And
of
in
course. I mean,
amount,
I'm sort of, how should I put it? I really love to go against establishment sometimes. So I really love to question it, but I never question the potential of, our healthcare workers, and you're also a healthcare worker in that segment. I mean, you are a part of
yeah,
pharmaceutical organization. So yes, of course. So all the survivors, all the individuals who have been working towards this, heads off to them, everyone. But
yeah.
going against establishment is something that I love always, because you have to learn to tackle the powerful man, and it's a different kick that you get sometimes.
Then
So
I see, when you talk of, whenever you want to criticize a vaccine or the pandemic management, first of all, ask yourself:
yeah.
have you been wearing your mask as required? Have
Hmm.
you been social distancing? What is that I am doing as an individual which is required from me?
Hmm.
Am I doing that? If I am doing that 100%, then I should ask the question to the analyst.
Of course, of course. No,
That
that's
is that is
that's
my
also right
point of view.
point. Yeah, that's also right point of view. But what I believe here is, I mean, I totally agree with you. But just to end this, because it may go to some other extent. What I
Yeah,
believe is that establishment has always they always have great individuals around them. So if they have a knowledge equivalent to me, then there is no point of having them into the power. That's what
Correct,
I
correct.
believe. But
Very
however,
true.
what you said really makes sense to me. If we are honest to ourselves, then only we should be. I mean, practice what you preach or preach what you practice. I mean, that's how we say
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Any of that. So I guess that's what we believe. Wonderful. All right. So we had a great discussion. Just on the ending note, I would ask you, if you can give some advice to young professionals in your industry, or as a generic advice, because you have been into, about sales and marketing and all these sort of things. So if you can give some advice to young professionals, how they should go forward with it.
Yeah. So one thing that I advise every young professional is that you should have a disciplined approach in your professional as well as your personal life. If you don't have a discipline, you will never succeed. If you see any, it is said that no success is overnight, right? It is, every success has years and years of hard work. So yeah, there has to be resilience towards it. There has to be a lot of discipline put into it, and only then you can succeed. You cannot by fluke or just casually get success. You have to be disciplined in both. Even if you want to manage your you want to have a work life balance also, then also both sides discipline is required. So if you are disciplined in your approach, success is definite to come to you.
That's a right point. I would just put a back statement to this, that if our session starts at 5, Vipul is there. I mean, Mr. Banerjee is always there at before 1 minute. So that's something that I'm also learning from him. It's the
Yeah,
second time that I saw him like this,
yeah,
and having someone having great experience like this. I mean, and at such a great position, it it's really hard to see this. But again, kudos to you, Mr. Banerjee, for this, and thank you for
thank you,
making me learn all these practices. These are good practices that I'm
thank you.
also trying to imbibe in myself. All right, so in the end, I would of course love to thank you, for sharing such great insights with us, and we of course look forward to having a great chat with you again in future on some other trending topics in the international business industry.
Sure.
And coming to our viewers, so for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Banerjee, please like and share this video, and also click on that subscribe button and subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming in from industry leaders. This is Sagar for BizTalk World, signing off. Thank you very much.